Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go make some food because my girlfriend Christine's coming for lunch today. Over for lunch. She's leaving to go back to Victoria tomorrow. So I just made a quick banana bread, but I took out one banana, added half a cup of pineapple, quarter cup of coconut. I'll let it cool for a minute, and then I'm going to turn it onto a piece of parchment paper, and I'm making a topping right now. And the topping is a quarter cup of pecans. I crushed them a little bit. Half a cup of coconut, tablespoon of butter, a tablespoon of milk. I used cream, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. And I'm mixing that all together, and then I'm going to pour it over top and put it back in the oven till this bakes onto the top of the banana bread. I'm also in the process of a big mess here. I'm making 2 soups. Why I'm doing 2, I don't know, but I have all the stuff to do it. So I'm making a sweet potato. This is what I have left of my vegetables. 1 zucchini and 1 whole squash soup with some ginger and garlic and stuff. And then for our lunch today, I'm making broccoli and beef. And I got my chicken broth almost done over there. So I'm a busy girl here, but I'm getting it all done. I have my banana loaf out now. I turned it out. I just let it cool enough to get out. And then I'm putting a topping on it and putting it back in the oven. But I wanted to take it out of the pan first, or I would have never got it out later. And hopefully it turns out. I don't have a recipe, guys. I'm just inventing as I go. This is what I do. But it's just a banana bread. And take 1 banana out and add the pineapple and the coconut in instead of the extra banana. So I'll bake that on top and make it all caramely. Banana bread's toasting up the topping. I'll finish up my squash potato soup. I don't usually use a zucchini in it. I'm just using what I have that's going to turn in my fridge, but it'll turn out really good. I got 2 pots of broth stock going. I just put pepper in it. This is for the squash one. And this one's going to be for broccoli and ginger beef. It's out of the oven. I'm just going to let it cool, and then I'll put it on a pretty plate, and I'm going back to my soup. I just chopped up a whole onion, shaved some ginger and 2 garlic cloves. And these are the vegetables. And I just used a potato, which I usually don't use in this soup, but I just used what I had. I had 1 potato, 1 sweet potato, 1 whole squash, and a zucchini. And in here I have a teaspoon of brown sugar and a teaspoon of butter, and I'm going to saute my onions and ginger and garlic in it. Then I'll add all this in, dump the broth over it, bring it to a full boil, cover it, then emulsify it. So I'm just stirring the butter, brown sugar, and onions and garlic and ginger together right now. And I just did a rough chop. It doesn't matter because I'm emulsifying everything anyways. Saute that just for a little bit. Then I'll put my vegetables on top, cook them for just a little bit. Then I'll dump probably 3 or 4 cups of chicken broth on top, which is waiting on the back. Then I'll go into the beef and broccoli soup. Added a little bit of thyme into that. I added all my vegetables in, and I'm just going to put a lid on it, bring it to a full boil, and once it's finished boiling, just turn it right off and let it sit. 15 minutes later, come in with an emulsifier and turn it into like a beautiful squash potato soup. For the Asian soup that I'm making, the wonton soup, I guess it's dumplings. I don't have wontons, just dumplings. There's cilantro dumplings with leeks. I'm going to add 3 cups of chicken stock to the pot. This floret, I'll cut it up, a ginger and some garlic. I'm going to saute my beef first that I have marinating with a little bit of baking soda on it so it's tenderized. And then I'll add that all in together at the same time and add my dumplings in at that time. I'll show you the process. Just added the stems from the broccoli into here. I thought, why waste them? I'm going to emulsify all this anyway. It's just more nutrition, right? My soup's at a full boil now. I just turned it off, and I'm just going to let it sit for 15 minutes or so. For lunch, we're having the beef and broccoli dumpling soup. And I'm making a few spring rolls. So I didn't do anything too fancy here. For the toppings, I have sprouts, ginger, cilantro, and green onion, and some soy sauce if you want it in your soup. And The spring rolls, I have dipping sauce. We'll just have a fresh Perrier and keep it simple. Been standing now for about 15 minutes. It's still really hot, but I'm going to emulsify it with the emulsify blender and bring it all together. I am going to toast up some pumpkin seeds though to top it with. This is a very noisy process and I don't think you want to listen. Well, but I'll show you when it's all brought together, okay? You just stick it at the bottom and then move it up and down. If you have one of these, if you don't, buy one. Get one at the Goodwill, they're $5. Okay, it's pretty much together. I'll do just a little bit more to get the last little bit of lumps out. It's looking good though. I'm not eating this today, so I just put it in a little, one of those little dipping bowls. But I put a dollop of goat yogurt on it, piece of cilantro, a couple pumpkin seeds, and just so it, presentation's everything, right? Also, lots of times I do add turmeric to this or curry, but I didn't today, but you could. And I'll let you know how this tastes. Even got a little wee baby spoon. It's delicious. Let people add their own salt and pepper. I don't think it needs any more, but if they want, they can add. Now onto the next soup. I'm just heating up about a teaspoon of oil, not much at all. Ginger and some garlic on there. I've never made this before, so I'm just inventing as I go. I'm just going to saute it really quick, and I'll add it in after the broccoli's been boiled into the soup. It's something different. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's cooked. I'm just going to tilt the pan to drain any excess oil off, and then I'll reserve it to the side onto a dish. Once the broth is boiled and I add the broccoli to it, I'll just do this at the very end and top it with it. You could use this like leftover pork chop cut up or leftover pork roast or leftover roast beef, just whatever you have. Cubes to add for our Perrier, just for it because it looks pretty. I have mint tea set up for our dessert. She should be here any minute. And I just put a little bit of the ginger beef into each bowl. And in here, I have the dumplings and the broccoli. It actually looks really good. I haven't tasted the broth yet, but I will in a minute. And here, I'm just got a little bit of oil in here, and I'm going to do up six spring rolls. I decided I'm going to top the soup set myself with the sprouts and stuff. I'm just going to sprinkle them in there before I pour the soup over top, and then I'll add the cilantro and the green onions to the top of it. Okay, lunch is served. It's all done. Hopefully it tastes good. Never made it this before, Christine. We had a lovely visit, and she's leaving to go back home to Victoria. She's been here for almost 5 weeks. And I'm going to close this video. The soups were both fabulous. Don't really have recipes, guys. I just kind of cook like that sometimes. But if you just do what I did, it turned out really good. See you in the next video. Love you guys. Thanks always. Please like and subscribe.